Hey guys, this is Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and yesterday I uploaded a video and went to the zoo. And that video was about is I was saying, hey, here's the new podcast. There's a link in the description. Here are two guys with great channels. There's links to their channels in the description. They lost all their subscribers when they had to recreate their channels, and there were thousands of them. It was kind of a big deal. But I messed up, and when I went off to the zoo, I didn't discover until I got back that the description didn't work. I think I had a greater than sign because I had made sort of a dash arrow greater than in it, and all day long the video was up saying, hey, everything you need to know is in the description, but it wasn't actually there. So there's a link in this description which should fix it. On the upside, I went to the zoo, and I got some footage. You'll never guess who I saw there. Check this out. All right. So what happens to me about this time of year is the Call of Duty game that I'm playing all the time kind of wears out a little bit. I get to this stage where look, I have lots of Modern Warfare videos on my drive, and I keep playing it just about every night. So there's more coming in. I haven't left Modern Warfare, but I do get to this stage where I sort of open my eyes and say, what else is out there? What's good? So I found World at War. It's only $20 now, although I think the downloadable content to sort of get the rest of the game is like $25. So the whole game ends up being almost $50, which isn't all that cheap. But there's a lot to this game. I think there's 25 maps with all the DLC, and that's a lot. And then there's Nazi Zombies, which is almost a whole nother game. It's I don't know if it's quite Left 4 Dead, but the fact that I'm even comparing it for just a few dollars, it says something. So this is my second game ever of World at War. So it's not a really special game. Don't expect like a 40 score or anything ridiculous like that. But I thought it would be neat to show my second game ever. My first game, there's nothing to see. It was a war, and because we're playing team tac, there's 4 of us and it rotates through the game types. It was war. I think I capped all the flags and my team killed everyone, and I hardly saw somebody to shoot at, and there's just nothing to see. But this is my second game. So what I do in this game is that I'm trying to sort of demonstrate how just applying sort of known tactics on other Call of Duty games can help you walk into a new game and get your feet underneath you. So I don't know the maps here. If you watch, I'm constantly walking into like dead ends and trying to figure out where I am and where I should go. But I'm trying to use cover, control the engagement, and manage these people properly. So did you see that? I'm going to take a look at that again. So I've watched that under slow-mo a couple of times now, and while it's clear that not every shot was on target, I saw 5 distinct hit markers at about 2 feet away from that guy. So I'm going to write that death off to lag, but I'm sure I get some kills to lag too, and these things happen. The ones where I lose are more memorable than the ones where I win. I always feel like I deserve those, but that's what the deal is. So in the game here, I'm trying to use cover. I've got kind of a decoy out there that everyone's looking at before me, and I just walk out, heal up, control this engagement, get some kills, and here Team Art saves my life. Thanks, buddy. So the whole point of this video is not to have something really outstanding, something that you haven't seen before, but it's to talk about the principles of using cover, the principles of using the element of surprise, and controlling the engagement. If you sit here and let them come to you, and I don't want to say camp too much, but grab cover as you reload, and make sure that these guys are exposing themselves and you're not, then you should get good games. Even though in this case I don't know the map, I don't know the weapons. I didn't even know that this thing was semi-automatic when I chose it. I chose it because it had stopping power, and experience tells me that stopping power is the good weapon, the better of the default weapons in all these Call of Duty games, because stopping power is so critical. So I was like, all right, find a stopping power and go. I grabbed some new weapon off the ground, and I passed up an MP40, which even a non-World at War player like me knows is the power weapon in this game. But I didn't care, I was just trying to figure out the different weapons and do my thing. This thing's pretty good. So call in my artillery where all the red dots are. Simple as that. And it gets some kills. So in a second here, I think I make a mistake. And I'm going to wait for it because people hate when I talk about what I do beforehand. So there it is. I call in the dogs. So in World at War, just like in Call of Duty 4, your kill streaks can build kill streaks in your next life. So if I had waited to call these dogs until after I had died, then the dogs would have earned me a UAV, maybe even earned me an airstrike, and the airstrike could have earned me more dogs, and the things really multiply. In Call of Duty in general, and this is true for me in 4, 5, and 6, I found that you sort of break this threshold as you go from a negative to a positive player. You know, at first you start off as a guy who really gets punished by the air support and by all the kill streaks in general, even the UAV. And then as you start getting your act together and start learning what it takes to be a positive player, then you don't just go from like a 0.8 player to a 0.9 to a 1.0 player. You kind of make this nice transition from like a 0.8, 0.9 to a 1.2 or 1.5. You know, there's this leap in there because your air support starts getting a lot of kills for you. And you know, on your good games, yeah, if you can get to that 5 kill streak every so often, then you can get to your 7, and then you can get to your 9, and you know, 5 gun kills turns into, say, 12 overall kills. And that's why you don't just sort of slowly graduate through the KD ratios. You make your transition from, you know, the guy who loses a lot to guy who wins a lot. And this game is no different. So if I were to call in the dogs after I had come back to life, then this might have had a pretty impressive score. But even as it is, you know, for a second game I've ever played, it's not so bad. So here we are. I'm slowly working my way around the map. Another principle I tried to apply in this thing was to use the outsides of the map. In all the Call of Duty games, the people who are in the middle of the map are, you know, they're your fish in the barrel. They're the ones who are exposed from every side. They have to watch their back. They have to watch their sides. They have to watch far more than they can with the field of view that your monitor gives you. But if you stay to the edges and limit where you can get shot from, then you do a whole lot better. And that's something C-Nanners talks about a lot too. Probably everyone here knows C-Nanners. He's a super strong player. And he spends a lot of his time on the edges of the map, shooting towards the middle and shooting towards his left and right to protect himself. And that's just smart gameplay. If you're running around in the middle, then here you are with these guys. So another thing, prior to Call of Duty 6, or I'll say Modern Warfare 2, there were no Semtex grenades. So all the grenades, you could cook them and have them explode, you know, right as they landed on guys. And World at War seems to do a pretty good job with the grenades, making them not too overpowered. But there's my first game, 17-4, a little better than a 4-1 KD. This is my second game actually, and I thought I'd show it with you guys. And finally, I'm going to ask you: are there any games out there you'd like to see me play? So, you know, what's good? I have Battlefield, I have World at War. I have Geometry Wars. I started playing around with that. I'm off to a fairly good start. Because what Geometry Wars does is that it shows you how you're doing against all your friends in the leaderboards constantly. And your score is almost not as important as your ranking amongst your friends. And I found that even as I just got started, I was doing pretty well. So I was happy about that. Anyway, let me know. What games are good out there? What have I missed while my head has been only in Modern Warfare 2? And then just know that there'll be more Modern Warfare 2 videos to come. I still like that game.